Today I want to talk about a new anime series that I started to watch, Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is based on a manga, and I was struck by how close to the manga the current anime series is, at least the first episode, which I think is great because it shows the respect that they have for the origin of the story. So what is this story about, for those of you that have never watched it? It's a weird story, I warn you in advance. So we get to know this young man who seems to be in a really hard place. He's depressed, he's sad. We follow him in his day-to-day life, and it turns out that he is working to pay off the debts for his father. There's this criminal organization, and we don't really understand why his father was involved with that criminal organization, but what we do know is that the debt that he had is now placed upon the shoulders of this young man who really doesn't know how to pay that off. His life is on hold because of that financial obligation and the threat of being killed if he doesn't pay his dues. But at the same time, it also isolated him. So he's alone. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't have a regular job, and he seems to be completely unable to enjoy life, which kind of makes sense. And so at one point, he is visiting the burial place of his father, and then he encounters this really strange creature. It looks a bit like a cartoon dog or pig or something like that, a bright orange animal, cute eyes, floppy ears, but the nose is not a regular nose, but it is a chainsaw, literally. And then the story explains that this is actually a demon. This is very different from the demons that you may be more familiar with if you have a Christian background. They can be benevolent as well. They don't always have to be evil, but they are spiritual beings with a corporal manifestation. And so this little animal is a demon. That is why it's not a real animal. I mean, it's biologically impossible. So he comes to visit the grave of his father. And that's where one of the leaders of the criminal organization drives up with his car and reminds the boy that he has to pay, otherwise he's going to be killed as well. The boy heals the demon with his own blood, and that's how they bond. That's how they become friends. And from that moment on, because the boy has to somehow make a living, he uses the chainsaw demon to chop up some trees. Why not? You've got a living chainsaw, let's go chop up some trees and sell the wood. And so that's his job. Well, obviously that's not going to be enough to pay his dues to this mafia organization. He offers himself as a demon slayer. So he then teams up with this chainsaw demon to go and fight evil demons. And so at one point near a house, there's this horrible creature. It's this blob of meat and eyes and teeth and tentacles and whatnot. And so he holds the chainsaw pig and manages to actually defeat this horrible demon. And then he goes back to the mafia organization and says, hey, just hire me as your demon slayer, and maybe this is how I can pay the debts of my father. And so for a while, he does that until he gets a call. Please come to this and this place. There is another demon that you need to destroy. And it turns out that it's a trap. It's a trap. And so once he arrives there, it turns out that this criminal organization has actually been infected with a zombie virus, or they've been taken over by zombie demons. And because this boy is now a demon slayer, he's actually a threat to the organization. So they want to kill him, which is what they do. Now, here's where the manga and the anime becomes extremely violent and very, very bloody. These zombies approach him and they basically tear him apart. They think they have killed him and also his little chainsaw demon, and they dump him in a dumpster. There's no way to get back to life. Or is there? Well, this is where, of course, you get the resurrection theme. And what I liked about the way they portray this is that the friendship started with the boy giving his lifeblood to save the life of the demon, of the chainsaw pig. And now the inverse happened. So the blood of the boy who has been killed is reaching the demon, who is then awakened. Now it's his turn to save the boy, which is what he does. And in a magical way, he gives his life to put the pieces of the boy together. And when he awakes and literally rises from the dumpster, like Jesus when he rises from the grave, and he's whole again, but the chainsaw demon has disappeared. He gave himself completely. He became one with the boy. And he told the boy, I give you my life to save yours, and I only want one thing in return, and that is your dreams. I want to see your dreams. I want you to live your dreams. Instead of being this sad, lonely boy who is basically stuck, go, pursue your dreams. Be the one that you wanted to be. I give my life so you can live your life. I think that's beautiful. So despite the limbs, blood, zombies, monsters, the core of this story, I think, is very touching. And that's definitely why I want to see the rest of the story. And so once the boy is alive again, the zombies, of course, are like, you were supposed to be dead. And so let's just eat you. So then that's the end of you. And well, obviously that's not the end, because then the boy sees he has a little wire hanging from his belly. There's this string with a ring at the end of it, similar to what you would find normally on a chainsaw. And you know how to activate a chainsaw. You pull the ring, and then you can start chopping down trees, or in this case, zombies, which is exactly what happens. He pulls on the string, and lo and behold, his head changes into a chainsaw. So his torso is still there. He can still walk around, but instead of his head, it's now this big, big chainsaw, and he uses that to mow down all the zombies. And that's how he wins. But then the episode is not finished yet. A couple of mysterious figures enter. And my initial association was Man in Black. But there's also a girl in black. They are part of a government organization, and they want to hire him and bring him on board so that he can help them defeat the demons. And then the boy, he is still exhausted of his fight with the zombies. He asks, hold me or embrace me, which is what she does. And at that moment, his head changes back into a human head. Thankfully, he's not going to be just a walking chainsaw, because I would have a hard time connecting to a main character whose head is a chainsaw. Thanks to the warmth and the friendship that she offers, he changes back into a real boy. So it's a bit of a Pinocchio story, maybe, with a very peculiar long nose in the form of a chainsaw. So he becomes a real boy again, and that's the end of the episode. Well, consider me hooked.